Today I'm going to give you a t-shirt, so stay tuned to find out how you can win it. But first, I want to thank everyone who placed an order at the channel store in the last few days. There were really a lot of you who took advantage of the free shipping promotion. So, endless thanks to all of you. Also, thanks to everyone behind the screen supporting the channel just by leaving a like, comments, and watching the videos until the end. And to all the members who joined, which are really a lot, so endless thanks to each one of you, friends. I'll leave the exact minute today's stories start below, in case your anxiety makes it hard to sit through the intro. We have two really impressive stories, with a topic that happens much more often than we think. Today in 2025, despite many investigations, there still isn't a clear answer as to why this happens, which I'm about to explain. And as I told you at the beginning, today I'm going to give you a t-shirt, an exclusive t-shirt. It's going to be the only one, and the winner of this giveaway will take it home. Since my day was nice but complicated, let's play a simple game. Don't worry, it won't be too complicated. Throughout the video, a little ghost drawing will appear. Basically, you have to count how many times it appears, and at the end, when you finish listening to all the stories, leave a comment with your opinion about the video and the stories. And how many times did this little ghost appear, along with the last 3 digits of your identification? This is so that there aren't several winners trying to claim the t-shirt without actually being selected, basically. Last time I tried by email, but I don't know if it was because of that or because YouTube, Mr. YouTube, was having issues or was upset. But more than 50% approximately of the comments were automatically deleted. So, that's why I postponed the giveaway for later. That's why I'm doing it now, to see if through this method, which is actually much more complicated, the giveaway can actually happen. I was really looking forward to doing it, so friends, good luck to everyone. See, I'll repeat the instructions, just in case. You have to count how many times the little ghost appears in this video and leave it in a comment, along with the last 3 digits of your identification. And keep in mind that this giveaway is only valid within the national territory, for anyone but only if you live in Argentina. I'm sharing the WhatsApp number for your experiences as usual, and my social media is linked in the pinned comment and description if you'd like to follow me. Alright, let's start with this new video, and good luck to everyone. Bye! I'm going to tell you something that happened to me some time ago, about 15 years back, in the city of Funes, in the province of Santa Fe. It happened in winter, and I remember it so well that sometimes it feels like it was just a few days ago. That time I was with a friend and we each went home separately. Since we lived in the same direction, the route was the same. It was nighttime, it was really cold, and nothing out of the ordinary was happening. Of course, we never imagined we would experience something like that just a few minutes later. Even now, some questions from that day remain unanswered. Now you're going to learn everything in greater detail. The street was empty. We reached my house while chatting, and just before saying goodbye, something happened. My friend had his back to my house, so I was facing him. And at one point, Maxi looks up at the sky behind me. I noticed because he looked extremely astonished. So I turned around and saw a pretty bright light moving slowly toward the south. The first thing that came to my mind at that moment was that it was a plane. We have an airport nearby, so seeing aircraft in the sky is normal. However, something was very strange about what was happening and what happened afterward. First of all, its speed didn't match that of a plane, it was slower. The light was somewhat strange because it didn't allow any other part of the object to be seen. And the sound finally, which was definitely something very striking. It was a very deep electric buzzing. Imagine hearing a super powerful engine but underwater. I know the comparison might be complicated, but I want to make it as clear as possible by saying it was something I had never heard in my life. And I insist that we were completely familiar with the sounds of small planes, big planes, and even helicopters. But this was different. Drones existed, but most people didn't own them like today. And even if they had, for example, I would bet anything that it definitely wasn't one. The thing is, this light ended up getting lost among the trees and we stopped seeing it. We stayed quiet, not knowing what to say, and continued the conversation. Despite all this, I insisted again, even though I had my doubts at that moment, that it had surely been a plane, and there was nothing strange about what had happened.
And at one point, he looks up again. The tree had already passed, so it could be seen again from the original position. The door of my house, and he tells me, look, it's rising, it's going up. I turn around and start looking at it. I mean, it was kind of hard to see at first because right at my front door there was the street light right there in the middle. So I blocked the light a little like this, and I see the light that's actually not there. It wasn't going up, but the perspective created the illusion and feeling that it was. But in reality, it was coming straight toward us in a straight line. I mean, that's what really catches your attention. It was really far away and suddenly it came straight toward us. But what really made an impact and what scared us and what paralyzed us, especially my friend, was that when it got closer, they were colored lights. I can't explain if they had a pattern, a shape, I don't know. Besides the fear and desperation, obviously something unknown. Because of its buzzing sound which caught our attention and really unsettled me. Because it definitely wasn't the noise of a helicopter, and the thing is, helicopter noises are usually loud and they rumble and everything. But this was more like a buzzing sound, like high voltage, kind of a strange thing.
We went into the hallway of my house because that's when we realized that this light definitely wasn't normal, and the worst part was that it was heading right toward where we were. With every passing second, we could hear that this buzzing was getting more and more intense. It was a desperate situation. The thing was that after a few seconds of desperately searching for the key, we managed to get into my house. And I peeked out the window to see, at least from inside and more safely, what was happening outside. It was incredible that this light came right above my house, over the window where I was looking out, and both the buzzing and the light disappeared. It was just a single second, and the night returned to the most chilling calm I have ever witnessed. There wasn't a single sound outside, even the insects seemed to have hidden. Because of all the noise we made, my sister and my mom woke up. We told them everything that had happened. My mom didn't pay any attention to us, but my sister did. She said she heard that strange buzzing from her room, from her bed, but she never got up to see what it was. My friend stayed for a bit, and once things were calm, he went home. The next day, he told me what happened on his way back.
He said he was walking. He got to the corner of my house, turned down the block, the one that led to the highway. And he told me that after walking a couple of blocks down that main street, in the distance, looking toward my house, looking to the west, he saw some lights, and when he saw them, at one point he told me he turned and it passed over him. He said it had many lights and was triangular. These are the words he told me.
Hello, Nervous. I was listening again to the audio I sent you from my friend Tincho, or Martin, whichever name you prefer, and there's something he didn't say right, he didn't express it well. So that two very important details are clear, which is when they were in the hallway wanting to enter the house, really scared. The friend was almost paralyzed, like in a trance, or hypnotized, and had to be shaken to get him to go in. And when the friend after all that leaves, because my friend's mom kicks him out when he leaves, he got home and says he doesn't remember how he got home. After much research, since I love these topics, this is my theory. Basically, it's that they were the Greys and that Tincho's friend was abducted. Like many other cases that have happened where people show up somewhere and don't remember how they got there.
I'm Matias, a truck driver living in Patagonia, Argentina. And this time I'd like to tell everyone listening to this program about an incredible experience I had while working for an oil company in the province of Chubut. I know not everyone will understand what happened, but I ask that, at least for these few minutes, you set aside your prejudices and put yourself in my shoes for a bit. Because something happened to me, and I hope it never happens again.
Only one acted superior. Now look, I paused here briefly.
In this company, we have a rotating schedule, but on that occasion I was working at night. A night that rarely happens around here. Completely clear and with very, very little wind. It was beautiful. I was driving toward an area to pick up a trailer and take it to another location. Just the usual routine work I'm used to, but of course, that early morning I had something going on that would not only surprise me, but also push me to try to learn a little more about all of this. Although I'm sure I'll never really know what happened that night. Before I begin, let me say the area where this story takes place and where I work is very desert-like. There is absolutely nothing for hundreds and hundreds of kilometers around. Therefore, when you see certain anomalies, you take note of the direction and realize that many times it happens in completely desolate, inhospitable places. In fact, there are some videos that I'm going to show you that confirm what I'm telling you. First, let's get to the story which matters most. I was heading toward an area called El Alba Abajo to pick up, as I mentioned, a trailer that had been left in an unused tower.
I arrived at the location. I got to the work site. More or less, I recorded in the work report, I marked an entry at around 12:10 at night, more or less. As I entered, I parked and, well, I stopped to hook up the trailer that I had to recover. And I turned off the front lights of the truck and turned on the rear spotlights. And in those places, they're inhospitable. The mining sites are inhospitable, and they have hundreds and hundreds of hectares where there's nothing at all. It's a total desert, and without the moon, it's so dark you can't see half a meter ahead. It turned out to be a really beautiful night with a clear sky, a lovely moon, and lots of stars. Well, when I was about to make my docking maneuver, I turned off the lights in the vehicle, of course, and I was left under the starlight. So I wasn't sure if it had moved or if it was just a visual trick on my part. I think I kept staring at this light as it made a zigzag, pretty complicated movement. What caught my attention the most about this sphere was that it had such a strong light, but it wasn't really a light. Like when you turn on, I don't know, a lamp, a spotlight, a flashlight, you can see the rays of light shining outward. No, this was like a light going inward. It's as if the light rays, instead of shining outward, were shining inward, and it was a very strong light. It made 2 zigzag movements and stayed in the same place where it was at first. And when I get out and walk toward the edge of the location, I move away from the truck where I was. This light, like this, in a blink like this, it was a second snap. It made a movement and was at the level of my head, but I don't know exactly how high, but it was right above, in the direction above where I was.
At that moment, this tremendous light widened a lot, then shrank again. Then it zigzagged again at a great speed and shot off to the north. Let me clarify that at no point was there even the slightest noise. This light, or whatever it was, didn't make any kind of sound. It was incredible. I won't deny I was scared. So I went back to the truck, turned on all the lights, and got ready to finish loading this trailer and get out of there as soon as possible. Before continuing, I have to mention that all the drivers, the company has a device called Nervustrack, which we use to communicate, and it also keeps a complete record of our movements through global positioning system. Schedules, fuel use, and other truck matters are important for what's next in this story. Because after seeing this bright ball, I turn on the lights, go behind the truck, hook up the trailer, return to the cab, and before starting, I check the track to report in. But first, I noticed something odd. I had 6 missed calls on the radio. The strange thing was that I'd never heard it, and it was working perfectly. And when I looked at the Nervustrack, it showed 2:30 in the morning, when it should have been at least 12:30. This was impossible. I checked with my phone with an analog clock, and the time was correct. There were 2 lost hours where I didn't know what happened. I want to be clear about something. The sequence I mentioned at the start lasted only a few minutes. Therefore, when that sphere expands, it then disappears. I turn on the lights and hook up the trailer. It must have been around 12:20, 12:30, not much later. What happened in those 2 hours that passed without me noticing, I don't know. I never fell asleep, I didn't faint, there was no blackout in what happened, I remembered everything. From my side at least, everything happened continuously. That's why to this day it's something that really amazes me and makes me extremely uncomfortable. At that moment, I called the base to report that I was about to return, and that's when they asked me if everything was okay, because they had completely lost contact with me. During those 2 lost hours, 2 hours in which no one, not even I, knew what had happened.
And well, those are 2 blank hours that I have there that I don't remember. I don't know what happened, but it's 2 hours. All my life I wondered, but when I tried to talk about it, people just made fun of me, so I stopped mentioning it. After seeing the show, I realized this was my chance to share what happened to me, and you can see a lot here. I've seen it many times, and I've even taken pictures by accident, where sometimes objects appear that are suspended in the air. Sometimes you can't capture them with a camera or see them with the naked eye. Recently, I photographed the moon. I took several pictures, and in one, there's a cigar-shaped object moving quickly. I caught it just in time. I mean, it showed up in the picture, which I'm going to share with you now so you can see it. Now both of them turned on again. Look. No one is there, nothing to say. And a light that strong, like that one, right? Difficult. I'm looking at it from inside the truck. I'm not the one doing it from inside the truck. one suit shuts down, then the other does too. I don't know what it was. They're coming with the clouds too. One just turned off, look. But if not the king, look.
It just turned off, look. Only one went up there now, look. I stopped here briefly too. It moved, but now it's still, look. Look, you can see it down there. I think it's over there, but I don't remember. Look, See, did it turn one off?